Hello, students. Welcome to today's class. And the topic for today is goal setting. All right, I would like to introduce myself. I am Sir Albert Nongrum from the Value Education Department. So, although we are not able to see each other face to face, but I hope through this photo, as you can see, I'm all excited in meeting you all. And even now, I'm excited to take this class for you. So even though you're not able to see me face to face, but at least you know who is this person speaking from the other side. Okay, so before we begin our class, let us just listen to this short and beautiful song by George Harrison entitled Any Road.
Give me plenty of that guitar.
I've been traveling on a boat, in a plane, in a car, on a bike, with a bus, on a train. Traveling there, traveling here, everywhere, in every gear. But oh Lord, we pay the price with the spin of a wheel, with the roll of the dice. Ah yeah, you pay a fare, and if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. I've been traveling through the dirt and the grime, from the past to the future, through the space and the time. Traveling deep beneath the waves, in watery grottos and mountainous caves. But ah Lord, we got to fight with the thoughts in the head, with the dark and the light. No use to stop and stare, and if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. Traveling on a wing and a prayer, by the skin of my teeth, by the breadth of her hair. Traveling where the fall winds blow, with the sun on my face, in the ice and the snow. But ooh, it's a game. Sometimes you're cool, sometimes you're lame. Oh yeah, it's somewhere, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. We pay the price with the spin of the wheel, with the roll of the dice. Ah yeah, you pay your fare, and if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. I keep traveling around the bend, there is no beginning, there is no end. It wasn't born and never dies, there are no edges, there is no sides. Ah yeah, you just don't win, it's so far out, the way out is in. Bow to God and call him sir, but if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. And if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there.
Okay, students, I hope you feel relaxed after listening to that song. I remember listening to this song of a story that I heard from a friend of mine. Actually, it's a true story. It happened here in Shillong, where this lady got into a car and asked the driver whether he's going to this place, and he said no. And he again asked him whether you're going to this place. He said no. He was simply making excuses, and in the end, she was so fed up. And so the driver asked her, because she was not getting out, so he asked her, "Where do you want to go?" And she instead asked the driver, "You tell me, where do you want to go?" Because all the time, he was making excuses. Anyway, it's maybe a story just to make us laugh and smile a bit, but it just tells us of the fact that we need to know where we are going. And talking about this, we see here of a short conversation that the cat and Alice had, taken from the book Alice in Wonderland. And here we see Alice asking the cat, "Would you tell me, please, which way I ought to go from here?" So Alice was asking for directions. So the cat replied, "That depends a good deal on where you want to get to." But Alice said, "I don't much care where." Then the cat said, "Then it doesn't matter which way you go." And so Alice added again, and she said, "So long as I get somewhere." And the cat said, "Oh, you're sure to do that," said the cat, "if you only walk long enough." I believe this story tells us that similarly in our lives, if we don't have a goal in life, it will be difficult for us to get somewhere. And even if we get somewhere without a goal, it will actually be a very difficult road for each and every one of us. Why? Because as you can see here, life is a, yes, please complete after me. Yes, life is a journey. Yes. And so if life is a journey, my dear students, how will you get there if you don't have a travel plan? Just imagine tomorrow, let us say you are going to New York, and you cannot simply just get up, and take the car, take the plane, and get to New York. Before going to New York, you need to plan your journey well. You need to get your visas, you need to book your tickets, you need to, let's say, do a lot of planning before you actually go for this trip. So, a lot of planning is required. So, similarly, also, if your life is a journey, you need to have a plan in your life. You need to have a goal in your life, because there is a saying, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So, in life, also, if you don't know where you're going, if you don't have a goal in life, if you're studying BCom or BSc or BA, you should have a goal in your life. Why I'm studying BA, why I'm studying BCom, why I'm studying BSc. And it is only when you have a goal in life, so it will actually help you to get there. For instance, as you can see here, there is this person here trying to reach to his goal. And so when the you realize that you have a goal in your life, you'll start to prepare for your journey. Now, what is a goal, my dear students? For instance, if you look at the dictionary, Merriam-Webster dictionary, it says a goal is the end to which all efforts are directed. That is, if you have a goal in your life right now, whatever efforts, whatever it may be small or it may be big, all those efforts will be directed towards that goal. For instance, if you want to be an IAS officer, whatever you are studying right now, whatever efforts you are making right now, you will try or you will make those efforts in order to ensure yourself that you can actually reach that goal. For instance, that is why goals are very important in your life. And further, Webster Dictionary also defines goals as they are actually dreams and wants, except that a goal is more specific. For instance, if you, I just hope that classes would begin soon. I mean, offline, of course, and your friends, probably your seniors, would tell you, or if you come for the live, I mean, online classes. So goals are dreams and wants, except that a goal is more specific. If you would, let us say in the future, when you come to the value education department, there is a small writing that we have in the department in the form of a banner taken from former president and great president, the late APJ Abdul Kalam, where he says, dreams, they are dreams are those that keep you awake and do not let you sleep. I'm just paraphrasing. So, if you have a goal, goals are actually your dreams, but they are more specific in the sense, these dreams do not make you sleep. Which means if you have a goal in your life, that goal will not make you sleep in the class. That goal will not make you sleep right now, also, if you are listening to me. Why? Because I have a goal in my life and I want to achieve that goal. Why? Because as you can see here, Thomas Carlyle said that a man without a goal is like a ship without a rudder. So just imagine, okay, probably some of you don't know what is a rudder. This is a rudder. It is actually very, very small. As you can see here, it is fitted here in this part of the ship. So compared to the size of the ship, the rudder is very, very small. But the rudder is very, very important. Because why? Without this rudder, the ship will not be able to reach its destination. So similarly, also in your life, probably goals also, if you have a goal, maybe at this point of time, some of you might be saying to yourself, why should I have a goal? Probably goal setting for you or having a goal at this particular moment may seem to be very insignificant for you, just as this rudder. But I believe if you have a goal in your life right now, if you know why I'm studying BSc, why I'm studying BCom, why I'm studying BA, it's because I have a goal, and through whatever I'm studying right now, I want to reach that goal. So, this goal actually, how small it may seem to you right now, it is actually very, very important. Why? Because a goal will give you meaning and direction. And if you have a goal in your life, if you are studying BSc, if you are studying BCom, if you are studying BA, it will actually give meaning to whatever you are studying. Just imagine you are going for a football match and you have bought a very expensive ticket, and the match is between, let us say, Shillong Lajong and, let us say, another team, Aizol FC. And you are so excited, you have bought let us say 1,000 rupees ticket to watch that football match. But when you have entered the stadium and you are seated and ready to watch that match, the players have come, and suddenly there is an announcement that we are sorry to inform you that the goalposts have been stolen. How would you react? I believe at that particular moment, if you know that the goalposts are not there, then probably that match also is going to be cancelled. Why? Because a football match without a goalpost is irrelevant, is meaningless. Similarly, also, not having a goal in your life will make whatever you are studying right now irrelevant and meaningless in your life. And so, if you have a goal in life, it will give you meaning and direction. And apart from that, also, it is going to increase your enthusiasm. I believe if you have a goal in life, when you attend the class, you are going to be enthusiastic. I used to tell my students in the class that for a teacher, taking the class in the afternoon is quite difficult. You know why? Because whatever the teacher says, the students agree. Yes, I understand. I think you understand what I'm saying. But why I would say this? If you have a goal in life, if you know what is your goal right now, whatever you're studying right now, you will be very enthusiastic about your studies. You will go to the library, you will buy books, you will, let us say, undertake so many things, let us say, which are necessary in order to ensure that you will reach that goal. And if you have a goal in life also, it is going to simplify the decision making process. It is like you are in Kindailat PB, and if you know where you're going, you know which road to go. Let us say you want to go to, let us say, maybe you want to go to Reliance Trench, and when you are standing in the middle of that road at that junction there, if you know where Reliance Trench is, you will know which road to take. That means your decision making process is going to be simple. It is not going to be confusing. I have seen students in the college who, after their third year, or let us say after the sixth semester, or when they have passed, when they are out from the college, they come out from the college more confused than the time when they first entered the college. And I hope that does not happen with you. Why? Because if you have a goal in life, your decision making process will be simpler, and you will know after your 3 years of study in the college, you will know where to go. So, therefore, your goals are the roadmaps that guide you and show you what is possible for your life, says Les Brown. So, therefore, goals are like maps. When you go to any place, we know now with technology, it has become much easier. If you're going to, let us say, Calcutta, if you're going to a particular place in Calcutta and you don't know where that place is, you can simply open your mobile phone and log on or click on the Google Map, and the Google Map will actually guide you to the destination where you want to go. So also is a goal in your life. It is like a GPS. It will help you to get to the place where you want to get to. Provided you know where you're going, you have a goal in your life. Okay, so therefore, goal setting is a process of defining specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound steps that have been assigned in order to achieve a purpose. Or I would say this: goal setting is all about being smart. So, being smart, where the first S stands for specific, that is, if you should have a goal in your life, it should be specific, it should be measurable. M stands for measurable, and the A stands for attainable. That is, the goal should be attainable. The goal should be realistic, and the goal should be time bound. Okay, so let's just watch this video which would explain to us how to set smart goals in our lives.
Have you ever had a goal you couldn't complete? Well, chances are it wasn't a SMART goal. You see, SMART goals have three main characteristics. They're easy to understand, they're achievable, and they have a clear point of success. So let's break that down. SMART goals are specific, they are measurable, they are attainable, they are relevant to your overall aims, and they are time-bound. But that in itself doesn't mean much to you, so why don't we use that with a specific scenario or goal? A common goal that many people have is they want to be rich. So let's take a look at that one. Now, I want to be rich has a couple of basic issues. Firstly, how do I know when I've won? How do I know when I'm rich? What is rich anyway? Rich means a lot of things to a lot of different people. And lastly, by when? When am I intending to be rich? The goal I want to be rich isn't complete yet. It's still in its very early stages. So let's use the SMART acronym to turn I want to be rich into a real goal. So the first thing to use here is the S, or specific. Now for specific, we use the 5 W's. That is who, what, when, where, and why. And that allows us to really break down the goal into its core component parts. So let's get started with that. The first one is who. Well, in this case, it's me. I want to be rich. So that's that. The next one is what. Well, rich isn't specific enough, so let's break it down a little bit. For me personally, I think that to be rich, I need to have $5 million in my bank account. So I'm going to say $5 million. You might want to pick a higher or a lower number. That's up to you. The next one is when. Well, I'd like to have that $5 million by the time I turn 50. So I'm going to choose by the time before I turn 50. I'm a little sensitive about it, so I'm not going to tell you how old I am right now, but suffice it to say the when for me is before I turn 50. Where, in this particular instance, doesn't really matter, because I'm going to be working in various places. Depending on your goal, though, the where may become important. And lastly, we have why. Please don't skip over why. It becomes really important later on. In this case, I want to have $5 million before I turn 50 because 50 is when I would like to retire. So now if you take a look at that, just that, we've got I want to be rich versus we now know that it's me, it's $5 million, it's before I turn 50, the where doesn't matter, and why am I doing it? So that I can retire. Already this goal is starting to look a little bit better, and we've only done the S. So let's move on now to measurable. The reason we have measurable is because we need to know where the finish line is. We need to know when we've completed the goal. All right. So let's take a look at why. Let's imagine that as a boss, I say to you, okay, look, I want you to keep running in this race until you win. Just run until you win. And you pass a milestone and you're thinking, okay, have I finished yet? Am I done? And you pass another milestone and, you know, you don't know when you win until you see the finish line. And that's the point I'm trying to make here, is that a goal isn't a good goal until there is a finish line. And in a SMART goal, the finish line must either be a true or false, it must be a yes or a no, or it needs to be a number. Because only with a true or false, yes or a no, or a number, does that work like a finishing line. And so in this case, we've got $5 million. $5 million is a number. If I've got $4,999,999 in the account, well then I haven't achieved my goal. The moment I get that extra dollar and I've got $5 million, then I know I've passed my goal. So that is measurable and it gets the tick of approval. All right, after measurable, we have attainable. For me personally, I feel that $5 million is attainable. However, you may feel that it's not and might want to set a lower number, or some people might say it's a bit too low, and so they might want to set it a little bit higher. The reason we have attainable is so that you don't lose the motivation for a goal. For example, let's say you have a staff member and you say to them, look, I want you to make $1 million worth of sales this month. Well, if they're only selling products worth $50 and they're not sort of selling on the internet via mass marketing, that may be a completely impossible goal, and so they'll ignore it. It's not a real goal. In this case though, $5 million by the time I turn 50, I think it's attainable, and so we give it the tick. The next one is relevant. The relevant is why I ask you to make sure that you do include the why in the 5 W's. Relevant means that this SMART goal fits into the overall reason that you're doing this. So in this case, we've got, why do I want $5 million? Well, I want that $5 million so that I can retire. All right. And so in this case, yes, $5 million is relevant to my overall sort of goal or aim of retiring. So, for example, if I had have said that I want to have a Ferrari so that I can retire, well, that doesn't work because that's not really relevant to me retiring. That's relevant to something else. It still could be a SMART goal, but in this case, $5 million is far better because getting $5 million is actually relevant to me wanting to retire. So in this case, that's a big fat yes. Next, we have time bound. Well, as stated before, we're going to make it by the time I'm 50 so that I can retire. So yes, it is time bound. So if you take a look at that now, we've got a whole bunch of the good stuff. And I can now take the goal of I want to be rich, and using those elements, I can turn it into I want to have $5 million by the time I'm 50 years old so that I can retire. And that is a far better goal than the goal of I want to be rich, which I think we can all agree isn't that fantastic in the light of our new SMART goal. All right, so just to be very clear, SMART goals are specific, they are measurable, they are attainable, they are relevant to your overall goals and aims, and they are time-bound. And that, in a nutshell, is a SMART goal.
So I believe after watching that particular video, you are clear about what do we mean by SMART, having a SMART goal in our lives. And as you can see here, we have two types of goals. They are long-term goals. That is, these long-term goals are the plans that you make for your future. For instance, about your career, about your family, what you are going to do after your retirement. For instance, maybe it can be a goal of being an IS officer, or maybe being a goal of being a lecturer or a professor, or maybe the goal of being a scientist. Okay, so that is a long-term goals, a long-term goal. And long-term goals, they are achieved over a period of time. You cannot achieve it today or tomorrow. It takes time. Let us say it takes about 3 years. For instance, if you want to be an IS officer, you need to wait for your graduation, which is after 3 years, and then you apply for the civil service exam. And then when you pass that, then you become an IS officer. So there is a timeline for long-term goals. So long-term goals, they are achieved over a period of time. As you can see here, the example is becoming an IS officer or an engineer or having a good paying job or owning a business. So these are long-term goals. And short-term goals are the ones that a person will achieve in the near future. Okay, so these short-term goals, they are the stepping stones on the way to achieve your long-term goals. For instance, if you want to become an IS officer, so your short-term goal here would be completing your graduation first. Okay, or let us say your short-term goal would be let us say uh, to attain or to get into IS, I need to read newspapers. So that goal of reading newspaper every day would be defined as a short-term goal. Or let us say if you want to be a professor in a particular discipline of yours, like being a professor of chemistry or zoology. So the short-term goals here would be, let us say, attending the classes regularly, focusing or trying to get as much as possible from the class lectures, reading as much books as possible, so that you can achieve that goal of being a professor of chemistry or zoology or botany or whatever goal you want to have. Okay, I hope that is clear. So as you can see here, for example, uh, to pass my degree exams would be, uh, here we will have examples of short-term goals. So to pass my degree exams, for instance, if a long-term goal of a of passing a degree exam is a long-term goal, then a short-term goal would be, for instance, when I say SMART short-term goals, it would be getting 60% and above. Measurable. So how do I measure if I am able to pass my degree exams? Yeah, by getting the marks that I would be getting in my semester results. And attainable. Can I achieve it? Yes. If I put in, let us say, at least 4 hours a day, okay, minimum 4 hours a day, yes, definitely I can get at least 60% and above. Realistic, that means evaluating myself. Do I have the capacity? Am I being realistic about myself that yes, I can achieve 60%? Okay. Or let us say evaluating myself by checking previous results. Have I ever got 60% and above? Okay. And time bound, yes, after 3 years I know that I'm going to get 60% and above. Okay, so I think you get the point. You understand about smart goals in terms of the short term goals. Now, in terms of the long term goals, smart goals would be, for instance, earning well and support my parents. Okay, that means earning well and supporting my parents. That is a specific goal. It's very specific and measurable. That means I know if I want to earn well and support my parents, how much I need to earn. Okay, maybe through the salary, and therefore through that salary I'm able to take care of my parents' needs. And is it achievable? Yes, if I get a good job, it is certainly achievable. Is it realistic? So you evaluate yourself. Do I have the capacity, or am I aiming for too much? Or let us say realistic in the sense also, do I need to study further so that I can get a good job after the degree? And let us say, how much salary would I be looking at in order to be able to, let us say, earn well and support my parents, which would be my long term goal. And time bound, yes, by which time or what year? I know that, okay, if I study well after 3 years here in the college, after 3 years, I can get into a good, let us say, uh, job, be it private or public, where I can earn well and support my parents. So that is the meaning of time bound. Okay, so therefore, we know some tips that are there for goal setting is we need to decide what we want to achieve. So, my dear students, please decide on what you want to be or what you want to achieve in life. Okay. And when you decide, after you have made a decision, make sure that you take small steps but keep walking. For instance, if you have decided that, yes, I want to be a professor, okay, or let us say I want to be an IS officer, or I want to be a doctor, or I want to be an engineer, or whatever goal you have. Uh, so break that goal into small steps. No, so let us say, do not simply say, okay, I'll study 14 hours a day or 18 hours a day. No, decide, okay, let me put in 4 hours daily so that I can actually achieve that goal which I want in my life. So start small. Okay, we know that if you want to build a house, you cannot simply build the house, the entire structure, just simply like that. You need to build the house brick by brick. Okay, and be specific when you are stating your goals. Do not be, let us say, simply stating your goals for the sake of stating your goals. Okay, and don't underestimate yourself. I believe if you have got a chance to get into St. Anthony's College, you have the capacity, you have the capability uh, in you to actually achieve whatever goal you have set for yourself. And make sure that you write down your goals. This is very important. Yes, when what you can do is you can buy like a chart paper and write down the goal that you want to achieve in your life, and make sure you paste that in your room where it is clearly visible, so that every day when you enter your room, you will see this is the goal that I need to achieve in my life. And every day affirm yourself, that is, yes, I can do this, yes, I can achieve this goal in my life. Okay, so this is also the same tips for the goal settings, so both for the long term and the short term. Okay, so there is a person called Anthony D'Souza, and he says this about uh, people who, in relation to goal setting, he says, in relation to goal setting, there are three kinds of people. That is the winners, the losers, and the drifters. Okay, who are the winners? The winners are those who have goals and are willing to accomplish that goal. Okay, so if you have set a goal for yourself, make sure you tell yourself, I will work hard and take the action necessary. As APJ Abdul Kalam says, if you have a dream, make sure that that dream keeps you awake. It does not make you sleep in class. It does not make you sleep during your study time, but it keeps you awake. Okay, and in that way, you will be a winner. And the second category of people, Anthony D'Souza says, they are losers. Who are losers? They have goals, but they cannot endure the setback, and so they accept defeat. It's like students who have decided, yes, I will achieve this goal in my life. But when they attend classes in the college, they get lost somewhere in the canteen, somewhere in the basketball field, and they are never in the class. Okay, so make sure you're not a loser. You have goals, and make sure you endure this whatever setbacks or whatever temptation comes your way that tries to take you away from that goal. And the third category are drifters. They have no goals and they are directionless in their lives. Okay, so I believe you can ask yourself now, to which group do you belong? So are you a winner? Are you a loser? Or are you a drifter? It's very sad to see that there's so many students joining the college who, as I've said from the very beginning, do not have any goals. Or even if they have goals, they have what we call as misplaced goals. For instance, some of those misplaced goals will be like bunking classes, or some of those misplaced goals will be getting a boyfriend or a girlfriend. So I used to tell students in the college that there are some students, they will not search for the library, but they will search for, let us say, a beautiful girl and beautiful boy who can be their boyfriends and girlfriends. So my dear students, I hope that you have realistic goals and goals which you really make sure that, which will really ensure that you can have a very bright and prosperous future. Okay, so let's just watch a short video about goal setting by Stephen Covey. I hope you know who Stephen Covey. He has written books, especially about leadership and self-development. Okay, so you can search for books by Stephen Covey and read them, which will really help you. And okay, so please watch this video about goal setting by Stephen Covey.
Spread out, everybody! Spread out! Sophie, sweetie, pass it to Trent! Trent! Okay, that's good, that's good! Okay, guys, remember, do the thing we practiced. Remember? No, not that thing. The other thing we practiced. Okay, time out. Time out. Everybody, come in. Come in now, everybody. Treats! I got treats! Ah, there we go. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do, all right? Annie, I want you out on the wing. Trent, I want you to fake the pass to Annie and push the ball up the field, and then pass the ball to your forwards who are Sophie and Chris. Sophie, I want you to hold the ball and draw the defense out to you, all right? Then I want you to float a lob pass all the way over the defense to Chris. Chris, you take it in for the score, just like we did in practice. Everybody got it? Let's go get him!
Do you see any similarities between Saturday morning soccer and Monday morning at the office? I mean, think about it. Too often, teams and organizations are unclear about the goals their top priorities really are. Coaches and players are simply not on the same page. What you get is everyone just kind of running around in all directions instead of working together toward the same goal. The inability to take high-level goals and strategies of an organization and then to translate those into action is a major problem in most organizations. It's one thing to come up with great strategies and goals, but it's quite another to actually get them done. This is what we could call the execution gap. In a landmark study done by the Harris Polling Group, we discovered some revealing statistics as to why execution breaks down and why goals aren't translated into action on the front line. First finding, only 15% of those surveyed can actually identify their organization's most important goals or top priorities. Either there are too many goals, or they change too often, or they simply don't have any. And in most cases, they are vastly undercommunicated. Just because the leaders are clear on what they want to achieve, it doesn't necessarily mean that the front line where the action really happens knows what the goals are. After all, in a very real sense, the front line produces the bottom line. Second, people may know what the goals are, but too often they haven't bought into them. Only 19% surveyed say that they feel passionate about the top goals of their organizations. That's only 1 in 5. There are a number of reasons for this, but the primary one is that they feel no ownership. They don't feel that they have input into what it's going to take to achieve the goal. They simply aren't emotionally connected to the goal. No involvement, no commitment. Third, those surveyed reported that they spend only 49% of their available work hours on their most important goals. The rest of the time is spent on urgent, but far less important activities. They get so distracted by urgent things that they neglect the most important things. Finally, people might know what the goals and top priorities are. They might even buy into them, but they don't know what they are supposed to do about them. In fact, 51% state that they personally do not understand what they are supposed to do to help the organization achieve its goals. Goals will not be executed until everyone clearly understands what the goal is and what they themselves specifically need to do to meet that goal. Once people are clear on what the goal is, then and only then are they free to try new and better ways to reach that goal. So the point is, to achieve goals you've never achieved before, you simply need to start doing things you've never done before. You might ask, is it possible to dramatically and measurably improve your team's ability to reach its goals? Can it really happen? My answer is absolutely. Just imagine the impact when everyone on the team is crystal clear about what the goals are. Imagine the energy and creativity that would be unleashed when everyone in the organization is committed and involved in achieving the goals. Consider the economic impact when everyone on the team is spending the majority of their time on top priorities. Just think what can be accomplished when every player on the team knows exactly what to do. The possibilities, my friends, are limitless.
Okay, so my dear students, I hope after in that particular video you can see how those small boys, when they were actually playing, when they were not sure about the goal, they were making all the mistakes in the play. So similarly, also in our lives, when we are not clear about our goals, we will make those same mistakes in our lives. So I hope through this goal setting class, you will make sure right now and from today that I will have a goal in my life, and I will take every possible effort to move towards that goal. And every day, I will make sure that I make all those possible efforts to achieve that goal in my life. Okay, so thank you once again, dear students, for listening, and I hope that we will meet very soon, not only through these online classes, but very soon we will see you in the college. Okay. So, thank you once again, and be safe, stay safe. Thank you.